Hello. Today we are going to talk about the National Adult Education Program. This was a key program of the yesteryears. It was a very ambitious program where 35 million illiterates were to be made literate in a matter of 5 years starting 1978. The adult education program was influenced by the writings of Paulo Freire, especially his idea of conscientization, and the International Symposium on Adult Education held at Persepolis in 1975. The declaration at Persepolis considers adult education not only as acquiring skills of reading, writing, and arithmetic, but also as contributing to liberation of man and his full development. Let us now look at the objectives of this module. At the end of today's session, the learner will be able to recognize the components of National Adult Education Program, explain how the program was organized on the ground, identify the program content, ascertain the role of SRC in the context of adult literacy, and differentiate between the strengths and limitations of the program. To discuss these various aspects of literacy, we are fortunate to have with us today Mr. Surendra Tanna.
Hello.
Mr. Surendra Tanna has a very long experience in the field of literacy. Mr. Surendra Tanna has been in the area of literacy for a very long time.
Yes.
And he started as a lecturer in college and went on into the graduate volunteers program, graduate volunteer scheme, from where he shifted to All India Radio, where he was in the education committee and he looked after the education programs. Then you were with State Resource Center. And you have a long experience. 4 years you were with State Resource Center, where they had publications and research and innovation, and you worked under the mentorship of none other than J.P. Naik and
Dr. Chitra Naik.
Yes, Dr. Chitra Naik and Dr. J.P. Naik, stalwarts in the field of adult literacy. From there you moved on to SNDT Women's University, where I am now working.
I was the coordinator for the adult education program, National Adult Education Program in those days.
So you were the coordinator and you were looking after more than 100 adult education centers in the community. In this university. And you then moved on to the NGO sector.
An NGO, yes, which was working in the rural area.
So you worked in the area of rural development. And from there you joined the Mumbai University, where you worked with adult literacy, adult education, then NSS, and then again back to adult education and distance education also. You retired as a director of distance education. But you also encouraged hundreds of students to get into the literacy program and teach adults through the Each One Teach One program in the university. So that was great, that work that you did.
Thank you.
Would you like to say something about National Adult Education Program in the beginning?
Yeah, this National Adult Education Program, as you said, it was a very ambitious program and it had a strong political backing, will behind it. Especially after emergency, when Janta government came into power, they decided that masses have to be empowered through the process of education. And therefore, on 2nd October 1978, they announced this program. It was called National Adult Education Program.
So what you are essentially saying is that a whole new setup came up and a lot of facilities came up. Government really took this program very sincerely, very seriously, and it was a huge program at that time. Now, at that time, in 1971, we find that according to the 1971 census, the literacy rate of the country was only 30%. And so naturally, literacy was the main focus of this program also. Since it was a challenge, it was a main focus of this program. What were the other components of this program?
Earlier programs that were carried out were limited to literacy only. But here they had realized that literacy, unless it is used as a tool for development, it would not be sustainable. And therefore, the objectives of the program were strengthened along with literacy, functionality. Now, this functionality has various aspects.
Yes.
We'll go into that a little later. And social awareness. You referred to Paulo Freire. His entire approach and methodology was literacy through dialogue, discussion, leading to development. So, making them understand the system, let them reflect on the system, and then let them come together in finding out a solution to the system. That was the whole component of social awareness. And therefore, literacy, functionality, and social awareness, these were considered to be three pillars, you can say, of literacy plus development. This was always a literacy plus program. And development was the ultimate objective.
Very well said, sir.
Yeah.
Literacy, functionality, and
And
social
social
awareness
awareness,
are
yes.
really the three pillars of literacy as we
That's
look
true.
at it.
That's true.
And that's really right. And now I want to know, how was this program organized on the ground? What happened at the grassroots? What kind of centers were there, and who taught, and how many learned?
Yes.
So this kind of grassroots level arrangement is
Yes.
what I want to know now.
Yes. See, the program was organized right at the doorstep of the learner. Flexibility, non-formality was at the core of organizational matters of this program. So, Adult Education Center, it was not called a class because we wanted to do away with the formal system. So, center concept is that many activities take place there. Okay, coming together.
This was a completely learner-centric program.
Exactly.
Where the centers ran as per the convenience of the
Yes.
learners, and the material was developed that would
That's
interest the learners.
That is
the
correct.
timing was
That is
according
correct.
to
That is
the
correct.
learners. Yeah, but how was this program supervised at a higher level? Say, what happened? How were number of centers supervised?
So far as the supervision was concerned, direct supervision was concerned, for every 30 centers, unit of 30 centers, one full-time supervisor was appointed, either at the NGO level or at the university centers level or even at the government level. Okay, so that was the first focal point of supervision, direct supervision. But then when a program has to be implemented and understood in a larger context, you have to have various levels and mechanisms of supervision.
That's right.
So after the supervisor for 30 centers, there were some areas, blocks or districts where 100 centers, 200 centers were run.
But tell me one thing, that these supervisors
Yes.
who were supervising at the ground level, at the grassroots, were they actually visiting the centers, or they were calling over the instructors to their office? How was it organized?
No. Calling over the instructor would defeat the purpose of the program.
Yes.
Because everything has to be at the place of the learner, at the doorstep of the learner. So if the program was run, whether it was run successfully, and supervision, the aspect was also guiding. It was the concept of guided supervision. So wherever the instructor would fall short.
So they went at the class time.
Exactly. At the time of the center. And therefore, for the supervisor, in a day, hardly one center he could visit, because by the time he would travel to another center, it was during night time. So one center per day, that was on an average.
So she would see how the instructor was teaching, how the learners were receiving what was taught.
Exactly.
What else? Did she also see whether the material has reached, whether the attendance was there?
Right. See, there are two aspects. One was the administrative supervision or organizational supervision, where it concerned all the availability, etc., including the illumination at that time. The other aspect of supervision was the academic supervision, guiding, correcting, the instructor whenever he would slightly deviate from the informal setup. So two aspects, and this was done by the supervisor. At the higher level, for a large number of centers, a project officer, full-time project officer, and since he had to supervise, monitor large area, so he was provided with the vehicle.
So that was at the block level probably.
Block level or 2-3 blocks in a district.
Together.
At the district level, the government had created a separate cadre of district adult education officers almost parallel to the formal system of district education officers. And at the state level, there are two mechanisms. One was the State Directorate of Adult Education, which was more concerned with the organizational aspects of the implementation of the program, and state resource centers. The state resource centers were there sometimes with the NGOs, sometimes with the universities, sometimes regional resource center, and the job of these centers was more of an academic support, providing academic support.
So while we are talking about supervision, I can see that we had supervisors at the grassroots.
Yes.
And then we had
Project
for
officer.
every 30 centers there was a supervisor. For every 100 to 300 centers there was a project officer, and then the project officers were also supervised by the
District Adult Education
officer.
Yes.
And then you had the state education officer, the director of adult
State
education.
Directorate of Adult Education.
Yeah. So what was the duration of this program?
Yeah. So if you ask me, the overall duration was about 500 hours. You can say, into 3 phases: literacy, post-literacy,
and
continuing education programs.
Yes. So it was a program divided into 3 phases: literacy, post-literacy, and continuing education. Now we would like to know what was the content of these programs? What would the primers consist of? What was the other reading material?
Yes.
So it would be interesting to know that, because adults must be having their own issues, and those issues may have been considered in the primers.
You know, while deciding about the content, one thing was clear, that literacy per se was not important. Literacy plus something was more important. And what is that plus? All the issues that were related to the day-to-day struggles and life and aspirations of the learners. Okay, so it could be a health issue, a child falling ill in the family, what to do about that. It could be family needed some additional income, what to do. Women were had some free time in the afternoon. What could they do to enhance their income? What kind of skills would they be able to perform? And at the same time, convert them into an economic activity. So it is very interesting.
I think we have some slides here. Would you like to show the primers?
Sure.
Yeah. We can see that there is a lesson on health issues faced by the family.
People from the poorer sections suffer from various kind of health issues for various reasons. Okay, so health was considered to be the prime focus, and therefore in that primer which has been developed, health issues were considered.
So the next slide seems to be on small family norm.
As we see that in many poor families, the size of the family is very large. And since they have not been properly developed, the size of the family becomes a liability. So the objective was, from one hand, to keep the family size affordable, maintainable, and at the same time, not to get burdened with too many members, feeding mouths, okay, from that. So small family norm, that lesson.
This is about savings.
Yes, right.
So how does a woman save in her family?
Saving was taken, bachat. It was taken as the central theme. And what is the need? Why do you have to save? Saving, as we always know, is always a provision to contain emergency, fight emergency, financial emergency.
Save for the rainy day, as they
Save
say.
for the rainy day. Okay?
Yes.
So that lesson, and as I told you, it is the natural skill or requirement of a household woman. So therefore, and as I told you, in most of the centers in the afternoon, women were the learners. Okay, so this was their need, and therefore this lesson was
Were
developed as per
included.
their learning need and also the situational need.
Yeah, the next slide seems to be on household accidents, which was a
Yes,
chapter. Yes, yes.
you know, these household accidents, they are the lesson that we can see. It is related to the accidents in an urban setup, urban house. Okay, so maybe leakage of the cooking gas.
Yeah, and
Maybe,
that time all that
yes,
was
right.
new. People from villages, when they came,
Yeah, right,
migrated to urban
exactly.
areas, they didn't know how to use
Even
gas.
the primers that we say stove,
Stoves,
okay,
yes.
and many accidents had taken place. Then the electricity. Okay, so all these equipments or instruments which were newly introduced
To them.
in these families,
Yes.
okay, naturally because of proper care or lack of training in instructions, following the manual, okay, accidents would take place. So how to deal with these accidents?
So that was one of the
That
issues
was one of
discussed
the
in the
issues.
primers. The next slide is on income generation by women.
Yes.
So, which was an important topic for
Yes.
to be discussed with women.
Yes. In some families, if the women were not fully employed, they had some spare time apart from managing their day-to-day household chores, in which they wanted to do something, enhance the income of the family, maybe for their own use, and small odd jobs they could take up. Not only that, some women could come together and start a small papad making unit, start a small masala making unit or pickle unit, like this. Now, these activities are based on the traditional skills of the household women, housewife. Okay. Now, how to convert that traditional household skill into an income generating activity?
I can see that the whole program would go like this, that every day
Yes.
when the learners assemble and the instructor comes in, the instructor would discuss a topic
Yes.
with the learners, the topic
Which
that
was
is there,
close to
today's
their,
lesson.
right.
Today's
Correct.
lesson would
Yes.
be discussed with the learners, and
Correct.
once the discussion takes place,
Yes.
they would start the literacy part of it, and
Exactly.
they would also read the lesson, identify the new
correct.
words and the new alphabets that they have learned, and how many more words can be formed. This was the literacy aspect.
Yes.
And where lessons were dealing with functionality or productivity, they would practice that skill also at the end.
Sure. Yes.
This is how the literacy class went on,
Yes.
with discussion and literacy, and at the end maybe practicing the skills.
That's it.
Now, how was
Before
numeracy
you,
taught?
right.
How did they deal with
I was
numeracy?
coming to that. See, we have this primer. Okay, when we talk about literacy,
Salam,
reading,
Mozaila, Shikwiya. Let
Salam,
us learn to
counting.
count.
Counting. We
Yes.
don't say let us learn mathematics.
Yes.
We don't say let us learn the numbers, because counting is in their day-to-day life.
Yes.
So let us learn how to count. And if you see the details here, they have shown the ruler, the measurement, the tape measure, the sign of the plus, minus, etc. All these are basically related to the fundamental numeracy aspects. Learning the numbers,
Yes.
additions, multiplications,
And different measures.
different measures.
What was the content of post-literacy?
Post-literacy. The content of post-literacy, expanding their horizon of information and knowledge, but in the form of the stories. Storytelling but storytelling with reference to again their issues. And therefore, people had got, this is from Mumbai University, and I was associated with that. We had called a workshop of the people, and then
So this is Apल्या Goshti, which
Apल्या
means
Goshti,
our stories.
our stories.
Yes.
And I would just like to, this is just the content page. Of course, people would be able to
Cannot
see
be
it properly
seen, yeah.
if it is Zoom.
Yeah.
But the topics are पैशाला कुंपण, saving. Okay. Then पोलीस आणि आपण. पहिल्याला अवकाश, दुसऱ्याला सावकाश, तिसऱ्याला बास.
Oh, this is about small family
Small
now.
family now.
Okay.
Then राजावाडीचा मुकाबला, दारूची कहाणी, like this, पोडगीचा कायदा, in
Some topics on law, some
Laws.
topics on
Yes.
just for entertainment. Some
Yes.
stories are just for
yes,
entertainment.
there is one
Mystery stories.
mystery story.
Yes.
So, and finally, see, ultimately, we are living in a democratic society. Okay. So, democracy, government, BMC, what is it? They are not away from us. So, the last one is Sarkar म्हणजे आपणच.
Okay.
We
So
are
we
the
are the
government.
government.
We are the government. So, political awareness and all this, and in very interesting stories of say 100 or 100 and 200 words, that's it. And this book contains about the stories of Siddhartha. See, after post-literacy, then it was expected that the learner who has been brought into this atmosphere, in this lifestyle, should continue to learn on his own, okay, even without the help of any supervisor, instructor or other thing. And there, the concept of continuing education, in continuing education, it was strengthening of the literacy, reinforcement of the values and the information that they had got during the post-literacy programs, even the stories that they had learned, and keep on reading further. Okay. As a matter of fact, separate post-literacy materials were developed throughout the country, through the SRCs, through the universities, and you are aware that the government of India had announced a national prize for
Yes.
simple post-literacy materials, books that were written.
Yes.
So it was a kind of a continuum, and the idea of continuing education that we have. And then what it was thought that now the program, the activity should be owned by the community. You know, literacy norms were developed keeping in point of view of the effective use of literacy further. So, minimum what the learner should know. So far as reading aloud, this is our habit. Reading aloud, if the learner at the end of the program is able to read aloud 30 words per minute, because the speed also has to be taken into consideration. So far as writing was concerned, writing 7 words. Now writing was 2 aspects, copying, seeing and copying,
And
and
dictation.
at the same time taking dictation. So far as copying was concerned, 7 words per minute, and dictation was concerned, 5 words per minute. These were the norms of reading and writing. When we talk about 3 R's, third R is arithmetic. We call it numeracy. Numeracy means learning numbers and application of the numbers. So numbers 1 to 100, then addition of 3 digits. Similarly, subtraction of 3 digits sums. So far as multiplication and division was concerned, it was limited to multiplication of 2 digit sums and division of 2 digit sum.
What was expected from functionality and from social awareness?
Yeah.
Functionality was productivity.
Productivity, skills. It was a skill development program. Now it is a national skill development program.
Yes,
But
yes.
for the learners, simple basic skills, okay, including weaving, sewing. That these are the traditional skills. In addition to that, the modern skills, with which women or men were to be equipped, so that over a period their self-esteem is increased, and at the same time leading to that, if it could help income generation, that was also a part of functional literacy or functionality.
Okay. And what was expected of
The
social awareness?
Social awareness, basically, again, if we go back to Paulo Freire, see, reflection about their own state of affairs. That was very important. Now, this reflection would not occur in an individual, but if you are in a group, exchange takes place. And then people are encouraged to undertake discussions, find out the causes of their predicament, and every problem has a solution.
National Adult Education Program was a huge program. It was a national program. You said there was political will also. But one of the important things was a large number of organizations were included in this program. It was a very inclusive kind of a program.
That's true.
So what were the organizations that were actually involved in National Adult Education Program?
Before the introduction of NAP, adult education programs were run in the country, but they were mostly restricted to the government functionaries, okay, for implementation of the program. But if a population of 35 million had to be covered, then naturally government functionaries had their own limitations. So it was thought that not only government departments, but at the same time voluntary agencies. We have a very glorious history of voluntary agencies' contribution to the nation building. So it was decided that they would be systematically involved as stakeholders.
Now, such a big
Yeah.
work,
Yes.
nationwide work with so many organizations needed
Yeah.
academic support,
That's
also needed some expert guidance in various areas.
That's true.
So, who were the academic resource support organizations? Was it the SRC which were providing this resource?
Right. See, again, it was good that the resource agencies or organizations were set up right from nation level to the state level, and later on it was carried to the district level also.
That didn't work much.
Yeah,
so,
that
but,
didn't work much. Okay. National Directorate of Adult Education in New Delhi also functioned as the National Resource Center, number one.
Yes.
Then those 16 SRCs, I was a part of one of the SRCs. What was their function? So their function was in two types. A, technical, you can say, academic. So producing the primers, the literacy, other supportive material, the post-literacy material, all this was the function of the SRC.
And I think while they were preparing the primers, they were also going to the community, testing the primers, what was written, and coming back and, revising the primers. That was a good way of doing it.
And arranging for the distribution of this material right up to the center level.
Yes.
Secondly,
training
of functionaries.
Yes.
Because such a huge program, right from the instructor, everybody needed the training. And sometimes I have heard the director at the Directorate of Delhi saying that I also need the training because it is something new which I have not done in my life.
Yes.
So this kind of training right from the top level to the instructor level was organized. Various modules were prepared for training. Instructors training was conducted in the local area. Supervisors, 30 centers, that was there. The training of supervisors, project officers and district adult education officers was conducted at SRC.
You also published handbooks and training materials and other things that were
Yes.
required
That was
for
right.
the programs. Also, you published posters and
Posters,
slogans and
exactly,
created
exactly.
songs, and I think you did that through your
workshops
where you
we used to
invited
invite
creative people to do all this for you and
yes,
published
exactly.
it.
And we used to enjoy that whole process at the SRC.
One important thing that you did was innovations, because since
Yes.
SRCs had very strong academic
Inputs,
backgrounds, so you also directly did innovations in the
Yes,
field.
yes, yes. As I told you, our SRC at Pune, we used to conduct experimental centers, adult education centers. Some of them were in the afternoon, as I told you, for women, some in the evening, some in the slums, some in the backward communities. And we realized that conducting a center at the ground level is very difficult. Okay, it requires imagination, innovation, experimentation of a very high standard. And we realized this, that the expectations from the instructor to bring about a total transformation was a little bit
Very high.
very high.
Sir, such a huge program.
Yes.
It certainly had highs and lows. It had
Yes.
certain limitations,
That is-
weaknesses.
Sure.
So, what were those weaknesses of this program?
You know, the evaluation of this program was conducted 2 years after the program was launched. It was launched in
I think in 1980 it was
80s,
conducted, yes.
80, 81.
And then several evaluations were conducted
Yes, and the
subsequently.
first report of the review committee was published in 82.
Yes.
Okay, and what they had realized that yes, literacy as an activity was carried out almost in all the adult education centers. They realized where they fell short, the observations of the review, were these two aspects, social awareness and functionality. Social awareness also, to some extent, some discussion did take place in the centers. Women or learners had become vocal about their issues and problems. But so far as functional aspect of providing skill training are concerned,
For productivity, for income generation, that
you know,
was
the
a
adult
limitation.
education centers or the entire adult education program was not equipped with that. What was expected, that the program functionaries would tie up with other skill imparting agencies and organizations in the community. Now, it required a very high level of coordination, motivation, and time, okay, resource organized, which did not happen to that extent. So, these are the conclusions, you know, observations of the review committee, which evaluated
So
the
neither
program.
social awareness was very strong, nor the functionality aspect reached
That's it.
to
That's
the
it.
extent it should
That's
have
it.
reached. So this
But
is what
at
you're
the
saying.
same time, I have, because I was also associated with some evaluations in the tribal areas or in the urban areas, slums also. One thing was there, that culture of silence was converted into the culture of language, culture of speech.
So the culture
Yes.
of silence actually broke to some
Broke,
extent.
exactly.
Yes.
That was there.
So that was actually a strength of the program, one of its achievements, that the culture of silence was broken.
Yes.
What were the other strengths or other achievements of the program?
Yeah, achievements of the program.
I think one was that the adults, adults came in large numbers to learn,
Yes.
and they also got a space for themselves where
That's
they
it.
could meet and
That's
they
it.
could discuss,
That's it.
as you
That's
said, they
it.
could have a
Yeah.
dialogue and they
That's
could
true.
think about their
That was true.
condition and
Yes.
how to ameliorate that condition.
Correct.
So that was probably one of the things. One thing I can
Yeah.
right away say from what you said earlier
Yeah.
was that other organizations were involved in this.
That's
So there were voluntary organizations, a large number of voluntary organizations who were
yes,
funded
yes.
for this and who participated.
That's true.
93 universities started the
Yes,
program. A lot of research took place.
Yes.
And probably a state level and national level, the organizations became stronger.
Strong and various,
Bureaucracy was trained.
exchange of ideas and information. various conferences were held, seminars were held on the achievements, and I was fortunate enough to be a part of such activities.
So we come to the end of the program. Thank you so much, Mr. Tanna, for a wonderful session. It was a very detailed session on National Adult Education Program. So thank you so much for giving us a very detailed and elaborate discussion on this.
Yes.
Thank you.
As a matter of fact, I must also be grateful to the university and to you personally for helping me live back those glorious days in the field of National Adult Education Program. Thank you very much.
Thank you.